Okay, so when we look at this example, so I'm going to write it down here because I need more space. I don't like have everything all crowded up here. Okay, so some of you may look at that and go, "Oh my goodness, that looks like some foreign language, like they're showing me Korean or something. I've never worked with this before." So let's look at these symbols and see if we can simplify them. All right, so we're just gonna, first of all, we have a lot of grouping symbols. So if you have a lot of grouping symbols, what you want to think to yourself is, all right, what do I notice? What is there some way that maybe these things are going to simplify? And I notice here that 3 plus 4 is 7 and 12 minus 5 is 7. So I don't write that down at first. I just hold that in my head and I think about it. And I think, hey, so then I have some exponents of that and that'll be my base, and another exponent and that'll be my base. Then they'll have the same base. So then I can probably use some of those other exponent rules. So that's probably what they're going to have me do, especially if there's addition and subtraction, because none of those exponent rules apply if there's addition or subtraction, only if it's multiplication. So that is where I'm going to go from here. So I'm just going to rewrite this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 12 minus 5, and I'm going to make that 7 to the 7th power. And I'm going to rewrite this 3 plus 4. Okay, and these are just grouping symbols. It's like having extra parentheses. So don't let that frighten you too much. Right? And then, so we have, this is an exponent, right? And this is an exponent. So I think to myself, what are some of those other rules? Well, I remember that there was one that says if it's a power of another power, right? And there's nothing, so I could think to myself, this is a power of 7 to the first, but really this is just 7 squared. Okay, so I'll rewrite it like that because then maybe it'll seem less confusing. So we're going to write this as 7 to the 7th power. I don't need those parentheses anymore, right? It's just 7, a plain old 7 to the 7th power. So I'm going to write it like this. And this is just 7 to the 2nd power to the 2nd power. So it looks like I still need to simplify something here. So I'm going to think to myself, right? Really, this is 7 squared times 7 squared. So that's going to be 7 squared, that's 2 7s, and then 2 more 7s, that's 4 7s. So I can think to myself, this is 7 to the 4th because there's going to be 4 7s multiplied in a row. Or my rule is that I multiply here. So now I have 7 to the 7th, and 2 times 2 is 4. So this is 7 to the 4th power. Okay, I'm still looking. Can I do anything else? Is there anything else I can do? Well, I want to think to myself, hey, I see these have the same base, right? And then they're in a fraction. So that means I can subtract. So I can take, so I'm going to rewrite it again down here just so we can, right? So I have 7 to the 7th over 7 fourths. Now, you don't do both of these. You can choose which way you want to go. So you can choose to go ahead and subtract, right? So we can choose and say that this is 7 to the 7th minus 4. Or, right, you could have thought to yourself, hey, that's the same as 7 to the 7th times 7 to the negative 4. That you'll end up in the same place, okay? So 7 plus a negative 4 is 7 to the 3rd. 7 minus 4, right, is still going to be 7 to the 3rd. Either way, it's the same answer. So it's however you feel most comfortable to think about it, then that would be the way that you would want to go there. But you can see, right, we start with this very complicated looking expression, and we can change it all the way down to 7 to the 3rd. And then if they ask you to multiply that out, right, if they're asking for all the equivalent values, then this is 7 times 7 times 7, and I think that's 343. So let's 7 times 7 times 7 equals 340. I don't know how, right? I don't know why these are values that stick in my head, but somehow, right? It's because it's 7 cubes. So there's not, remember cubes up to a certain point.